Hey, just want to go over some of the notes and make sure everybody was on the same page with this. This is going to cover the first three problems that are on our review, the first few problems that are on our test. So we have to do three things. We have to describe the type of polynomial, the degree of the polynomial, and we have to identify the leading coefficient. So the type, when we talk about the type of polynomial, what we're talking about is based on the number of terms, what type of polynomial do we have? And it can be one of four things. Monomial, meaning one term, binomial, two terms, trinomial, three terms, and we just have general polynomials that we usually reserve that for things that are four or more terms. So the first thing we do is when we get to our problems, we just count the number of terms that we have in the simplified equation. So I've got two examples down here. Let's go to example A. So count the number of terms, 1, 2, 3. So if it's three terms, this is going to be a trinomial. And we go to B. Okay, we want to simplify this a little bit first. So anything that we can calculate, we will calculate, like this 5 to the second power. We'll change that to 25. And then we have A to the third and B to the seventh. Now, this is only one term. Okay, even though it's made up of A's and B's and we've got a coefficient of 25, it's still only one term. We only count terms as things that are separated with addition or subtraction. This is all connected with multiplication, so it's one term. One term means it's a monomial. Monomial. Okay, so once we know the type, then we can move on and we can identify the degree. So the degree is going to be different depending on what type of polynomial you have. If it's a monomial, generally you'll just add the powers on all of the variables and only the variables. Okay, so we did have a monomial down here. It was example B. And when we look at example B, we've got a power of 3 on A, and we've got a power of 7 on B. So because it's a monomial, we want to add those two powers together, and it will tell us that this is a degree 10 monomial. Okay, now if you have anything else, if you had a binomial, trinomial, general polynomial, you're going to look at each one of the terms, and the degree of the whole problem is going to be the largest degree between each term. So example A, that was a trinomial. Okay, we're going to pick the largest degree between all the terms. This first term has a degree of 1. Okay, it has 1x, an x to the first power, and it's just got a degree of 1. This second term, that's a negative 3. It's a constant. Call that degree 0. This last term, it's got a degree of 5. Okay, because that last term has a degree of 5, that's the largest degree of the entire problem, so the degree of the whole thing is 5. Okay, now the last thing that we have to identify is we have to pick out the leading coefficient. So the leading coefficient is just the first coefficient of the first term. Now you do have to make sure everything is simplified, and you do have to make sure that your polynomial is in descending order. Okay, now when we look at example A, it is not in descending order. Okay, in descending order, it would have the highest powered term come first. So let's go ahead and rewrite it as 2x to the fifth. Okay, the next highest powered term would be this 5x right here, so that's going to go next. It's positive 5x. And then the constant generally will come last. Okay, so there is our polynomial in standard form or descending order, and now we just have to decide, well, what's the coefficient of the first term? And right there, that is 2. So we say the leading coefficient is 2. Degree is 5, and it is a trinomial. Okay, for example B, we had